You can follow a perfect training program, right split, right volume, right progressive overload, and still fail to grow. Not because the program is wrong, because growth isn't controlled by what happens in the gym. It's controlled by what happens in the 48 hours after you leave it. And something is quietly shutting that window before your body finishes its work. Before we go further, how long do you wait between training the same muscle group? 1 day? 2? Maybe you hit everything twice a week and wonder why the gains plateaued. Drop your number in the comments, because by the end of this video, that answer is going to hit completely different. Here's where the story starts. Your muscle isn't growing in the gym. You already knew that. Kind of. But here's what nobody actually explains. Muscle growth doesn't happen gradually over days. It happens inside a precise biological window that opens the moment you finish training. And that window starts closing immediately. After resistance training, your body opens a repair window. Muscle protein synthesis stays elevated for up to 48 hours. But here's what most people miss. That window doesn't stay wide open. It begins closing from the moment you finish your last set. Every hour of poor sleep, every missed meal, every unnecessary training session on the same muscle narrows that window before your body finishes its work. And there's one molecule orchestrating the entire operation. Its name is mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin, the single most important biological switch you've never heard of, and the one quietly determining whether your training is actually working. Here's what mTOR does. The moment you finish a hard session, your body detects the muscle damage and activates mTOR like an alarm going off. mTOR is the signal, the command your body sends to begin muscle protein synthesis, rebuilding damaged fibers thicker and stronger than before. Think of it like a crime scene investigation just opened. mTOR is the detective. It shows up, assesses the damage, calls in the repair crew, and coordinates the rebuild. But the investigation has a deadline. Research published in PMC confirms that muscle protein synthesis remains elevated for up to 48 hours post-exercise. A 2022 study on Science Direct found that mTOR's enhanced sensitivity to leucine, the amino acid that keeps protein synthesis running, is maintained for at least that same window. The repair crew is working, but they're working against a clock. And most people are unknowingly sending them home early. So what keeps that window open long enough to actually work? 3 things. And most people are sabotaging all of them without realizing it. The first is sleep. And this is where the science gets genuinely surprising. A 2025 study published in Scientific Reports found something that reframes everything. mTOR signaling, the exact mechanism driving muscle repair, is more active during sleep than during your waking hours. Your muscles aren't just resting while you sleep. They're doing the work your gym sessions set in motion. The gym opens the window. Sleep is what happens inside it. And your body reinforces this with growth hormone, releasing the majority of its daily supply during deep sleep. Growth hormone is the fuel that drives mTOR's repair process through the night. Without sufficient deep sleep, mTOR activates, but the construction crew doesn't have the resources to finish the job. A study from the University of Chicago found that just 1 week of 5-hour sleep nights reduced testosterone by 10 to 15% in healthy young men. Testosterone and growth hormone operate on the same biological axis. Suppress one, you suppress the other. And when both drop, the 48-hour window becomes a 48-hour window where very little actually gets built. 6 hours of sleep isn't rest. It's leaving your repair crew without materials on the most important night of the week. The second thing narrowing your window is retraining too soon. Here's what surprised even researchers. Most people use soreness as their recovery gauge. No pain, you're good to go. But soreness is a lagging indicator. It tracks inflammation, not whether mTOR has finished its job. You can feel completely fine 36 hours after a hard leg session, no soreness, full range of motion, and still have an active repair process running. Retrain that muscle before the window closes, and you don't build on top of the previous session. You redirect mTOR away from repair and back toward damage assessment, restarting the process from scratch. More training, less result, because you interrupted the investigation before it closed the case. The third, and this is the one almost nobody in fitness talks about, is CNS fatigue. Your central nervous system fires every single muscle contraction you make, and heavy training doesn't just exhaust the muscle, it exhausts the neural pathways controlling it. A 2018 study in the European Journal of Applied Physiology found CNS fatigue can persist for up to 96 hours after intense training. 96 hours, 4 full days. Here's what makes this the hidden villain. When CNS fatigue runs deep enough, your body doesn't just perform worse, it actively suppresses anabolic signaling as a protective mechanism. Your nervous system overrides mTOR, telling your body, see, we are not in a state to build. We are in a state to survive. Protection over progress. Every time. Until the nervous system fully recovers. This is why the hardest trainers in any gym are often making the least progress. They're chronically suppressing the mechanism responsible for their results and calling it dedication. So here's the reframe. The single sentence that changes how you think about training forever. More sessions don't build more muscle. More completed recovery windows build more muscle. The goal was never to train as hard as possible. It was always to train hard enough to open the window, then protect that window until it closes on its own terms. 2 to 3 days between sessions for the same muscle group. 7 to 9 hours of sleep, because that's literally when mTOR does its most active work. And enough spacing between heavy sessions for your CNS to stop standing between you and your own results. The gym opened the case. Sleep is what solves it. Next video, why the timing of your training session matters as much as the training itself. The science on this will completely change when you schedule your workouts. Subscribe, you'll want to see this one.